Let's talk about going big. How do you connect with clients that are outside of your local area? Now, I know we talk a ton about local lead generation and working with local businesses, but you can work with people all over the whole country or even in different countries. Like your clients don't have to be local to you. It's just that your clients' customers are local to them. So this question comes up a lot. In fact, this very week in Blue Theory, I answered this exact question. So I want to show you a clip of the live coaching call that we did this week because we literally talked about this exact thing. Now I've got some stuff after the clip that I want to share with you as well, but check this out for my best tips on how to connect with customers that are geographically far away. About international clients, like if you live somewhere other than the United States and you want to work with people who live in the United States, what can you do to make it easier to get those types of clients? And it's hard to get those types of clients because there's so much distance that there's less stuff in common with if you live far away than if you live locally. So like the easiest clients to get are like your next door neighbor. And like the broader you go out in terms of locality, like geographic location, the harder it becomes to get like a relationship going with people. And but to circumvent or to kind of get around the geography distance, the key is to have more stuff in common. So like if you could, if you like people, like relationships in common are the most powerful. So like if you said, we're in the same Facebook group, or we have mutual friends on LinkedIn, or I noticed that you're certified on this Udemy course that I also took, or something like that, where there's something that you have in common. And the more stuff that you can have in common with the people you're reaching out to, the better. Another way to do the relationships, it's always hard. Like when you're just getting started, you don't have any of this, but it's worth knowing what it is so that you can start accumulating it. But like if you say, we build websites for med spas, and here are all the different med spa clients that we work with. Here's another med spa. We can do the same stuff for you that we did for these people, even though we live in Siberia or whatever, like even though we live somewhere really far away from the United States. And so like that's stuff that's in common. Other things that are really helpful, like when you start talking to people, if you know stuff that they also know. So like once you get people on the phone, it could be like, hey, we like the same sports teams, or we like the same type of music, or we eat the same kind of food, or I'm a vegan and you're a vegan, or like just anything that you can have in common with people. It's really helpful. So what I like to do, whenever I do any kind of like sales related call or anything like that, I'll do my kind of 5 minutes of power. And so what I do is I take 5 minutes before the call and I just Google people. And it's like, can I find them on LinkedIn? Can I find them on Facebook? Can I find their website? Can I find anything about them at all? And I'm looking all over the internet to find something I like about them. And, just like, I have yet to find somebody that I've ever talked to that has nothing that I like about them. It's like most of the time there's tons of stuff that I like about them. And so I just look for stuff that they're interested in that I'm also interested in. And then when we get on the phone together, then I tell them stuff to like about me. Like I find stuff to like about them, and then I give them something to like about me that I think that they will also like. Hey, I'm noticing it, like sometimes I'll do Zoom calls with people and I'll see a guitar or a piano or something in the background. And I'll say, hey, look, I see the guitar in your background. Or like Mike's got a piano in his background right now. It's like, you know what? I play music too. How long have you been playing music? And so that's something that we have in common. And I don't care where you live. Everybody likes music. Everybody likes pianos and guitars and stuff. And so you can just find stuff like that. And the side effect of that is it's drastically changed my entire view of humanity, which is everybody likes so much of the same stuff. There's so much stuff that is in common with everybody. And so little stuff, the little tiny things that cause such huge divisions. But if you like look at the news and the internet and all that other stuff, it seems like everybody hates everybody, but it's a lie. It's so not true. Like when you actually talk to real people, there is a ton of stuff that is unifying and fun to talk about. And the trick is just to look for a little bit. And you only need like one or two things. Like one thing, like, hey, Mike, you've got a piano in the background. How long have you been playing the piano? I've been playing the guitar since I was like 14. And then we have that in common. And now they like you and you like them and you've got a relationship going. And like, if you can do that, it makes a huge, huge difference compared to if you just say, hey, do you want to buy a website? Or hey, do you want me to manage your profile or whatever? Like if you just jump straight into trying to sell something to somebody, then they're like, I don't want any of that stuff. I'm too busy. But if you start liking things about one another, it makes a huge, huge difference. and the way that you view the world, the way that you view your business, the way that they view you, like everything sort of just opens up. And it's just been like, I've got so many friends now that if it wasn't for doing that, I probably would have think, we have nothing in common. I don't have anything to talk about, because I kind of tend to be like an introvert, like I don't really talk to people. Like I don't do a lot of small talk. So like,
that shocks me. I'm just saying.
but here's the thing. It's like, I push myself forward to try to do like my version of small talk. Like I don't like to talk about the weather, and I don't really like to talk too much about like sports and stuff. But like I'll be on the elevator with somebody in a hotel, and they've got like a tattoo of archery or like a bow and arrow on their arm. And I'm like, well, you've got archery. What? Tell me about that tattoo. And that's all I'll say. It's like, hey, you got an interesting tattoo. What's all that about? And then they'll start telling you. And you've got like this nice, like 5-10 minute conversation learning about why they put that tattoo on their body and what it means to them and all that other stuff. And it's really interesting. One time I did this, there's a lady that was in the elevator with me. She had all these stars going up her arm. And I was like, why do you get all those stars? What do all those stars mean? And she's like, I think I was drunk one night and just got a bunch of stars. And she's like, I don't know, I'm just stuck with it. It looks all right. But like, that's the only time that there was like no story behind it. She's like, I just got them. But like most of the time, people will like tell you like, yeah, I had all this hardship in my life, or this kind of represents my dad, or whatever it might be. And then they'll start telling you stuff, and it's awesome, and you get to learn so much cool stuff about people. And that same idea translates into like web design and everything else. Like instead of just being friends, you can say, now that we're also friends, I can also help you with getting some backlinks or whatever it is that you think you can do to help. So one of the big takeaways is relationships. And so I want my new clients or my new prospects to look at me and say, hey, Lee has got this audience of other business owners and he's getting great results for them. And since I'm in that same niche, he can probably get great results for me too. That's one of the most powerful things that you can do to start extending beyond your local market. But that also means you have to have a niche. You have to have a target market. And so if you haven't thought about that yet, or you haven't picked a niche, download Local Market Gems. It's my new ebook, and we go through over 30 different examples of what I think are the best high-ticket niches for web design right now. And then drop a note in the comments, and we can strategize about that together right here, right now. Or join me for one of these calls in Bluethier. Like, go ahead and join Bluethier. There's a 7-day money-back guarantee, so we can work together for a week. Join me for one of these calls, see what you think. If you're not loving it, just let me know. You'll get a full refund, so no risk. But there's one more thing. I don't like the 50-50 payment model that everybody likes to use. Where you charge like 50% upfront and then 50% when you launch the site. I feel like that misaligns everyone's incentives, where there's this tension between, I want to spend as much time as I can doing my best work for my client, but I also need to move on to the next project so I'm profitable. And I feel like when there's that tension in the business like that, that's a red flag. So check out this video and I'll show you what we do instead. I think you're going to love it.